Guess call to order the committee administration admin committee meeting. Leah, if you wouldn't mind calling, roll.
Bob Russ,
Here.
Mark Dolson,
Here.
Cheryl Adams,
Here.
Shelley Canton online.
Shelley, you can unmute.
Yep, thank you.
Ah, there she is.
I was just waiting for that pop-up.
All right. In the we're called to order here, and I guess oral communications from the public is the first.
Point of order.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't hear my name called.
Oh,
No, Shelley Canton.
That's
No,
Alina.
it's Alina.
oh, Alina is here.
Alina.
Oh, good.
Sorry.
Hey, Alina.
Hi,
Alina.
Morning, Alina.
good morning.
All right.
Well, great. We've got all five on board. All right, then I guess as is practice.
Oh, and just
Yep.
to make a point, because we did not know that Alina or Shelley would be joining remote, they can only participate as members of the public because we did not have their address on the agenda.
I believe legally, since mine is a medical related issue, that I can participate fully.
Yeah, okay. So it's
All
just Shelley then.
Okay. All right. Very good. All right. Appreciate the clarification. All right, then we'll open up the meeting for any oral communications from the public. Is there any? No? No one online? No? Okay. All right, and we'll go on to new business. We've got two items scheduled to be discussed. The first is the watershed education grants that have been, I guess, worked through a number of iterations. And who's going to be discussing that?
I'll present that.
Okay, great. All right.
Okay, so I know we brought this back a couple of times, once on May 20th and again on June 17th. There was a lot of discussion about the process, the procedure, and how the program was going to run moving forward. The last meeting, you guys had asked for the environmental staff to take a look at it and make any edits or recommendations that they might have, which they have done. They were going to be here today to present this themselves, but they had another meeting that they had to attend. So if there are any questions we have, I'm glad to jot them down now and we can ask for them to answer those later. As we all know, included in this budget, there's $2,500 per fiscal year for this program. And as we've said before, we can always ask, once we get to the board level, we can always ask for more money later on if we feel like we need that. I've attached the notice of grant funding, the proposed review, a proposal review form, and the scoring sheet. All of those had some the first one had a lot of edits, the other two were very minor. So we wanted to get your guys' thoughts on this. If you agree, then what we'll do next is accept all of the edits and take it to the next board meeting for approval.
Okay. I guess let me check in with other board members. Cheryl, would you have anything you'd like to ask or get clarifications on?
Well, I think it's great. There were a couple of things that are just kind of nitpicky that I will make suggestions, and if Chris and his staff decide to just go with it as is, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
On page 9, what format should my proposal follow? And then the first paragraph is, what do I need to do when my project is completed? So I think that's an important paragraph, but it might need to be further down somewhere, because that section is really talking about the proposal itself, not.
Yeah, maybe it should be the last. bullet point or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's all. I think the wording is great.
Mhm.
And then on page 12, let me find page 12. When you're talking about the proposal, one thing I didn't see, and this again is from me having to do contracts and grants and making sure that we have measurable outcomes. And I think it's implied, but I don't know that those words are in there. So if we could throw in some language on measurable outcomes, yeah. Because you talk about outcomes, but they have to be measurable outcomes so that they can report back on, and how they did what they were supposed to do. And that's it. That's all I had. I think it's great. I think the additions were good. I think we should go forward with it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Next, Mark.
Mark, please.
Sure. So I've been on board with this. I have a few comments and maybe I want to share a little bit of information that Bob, you not having been a member of the committee, wouldn't necessarily be aware of. So also just a quick clarification for me, the amount that's in the budget seems to change each time we discuss this. So
Well, last time we had it as 5,000,
yes.
which was a total of the newest
2
budget,
years.
the 2 fiscal years.
Right.
But Chris didn't like that wording. He wanted me to put it as the $2,500 per fiscal year,
Okay.
just to avoid any confusion in the future.
Okay. So that's the final figure.
For right now, that's the final figure until you guys ask for more money. Yeah.
Which could happen.
And another quick clarification for me, I know there's been a lot of concern about the timing of this and the ability of these funds to be potentially used by schools to support students attending science camp. Is that still is it still within that time frame? Or are we?
We're still good. Yeah, the school year just started, and so our whole thought process is to take this to the next board meeting. Hopefully, it gets approved, and then we can send it out to the schools.
Okay. And I also just want to touch base with Jason again, because when this will come to the board, I think an important factor in how it's received will be your view of it. And I know that one possibility is to view this as a kind of a restart and a sort of a pilot, because it's such a small amount of money and people just want to try and get it back in gear and get some experience. The other possibility is that you could have board members or yourself that want to see a more fully fleshed out revision of the program, or want the timing to be different. You want to consider it later in the year or next year or whatever. So I'm just checking in with you for your reaction.
Yeah, this is not exactly what we did, but we had something similar down in Indian Wells Valley where we would go to schools and do a program that would promote water education, conservation, and helping students do a kind of a grassroots approach to understanding the importance of the water cycle and the water in that situation. So I'm in favor of programs like this that help students understand how important this resource is. I think that the best use of these funds is to help the young generation upcoming understand the value of water, understand watershed, so that, I mean, I've had parents come to me in the past and tell me that their students are the ones coming home and saying, don't let the water run when you're brushing your teeth, right? So getting them understanding that at a young age is vital for the future.
Sounds great. And so just an informational update, because the Friends of San Lorenzo Valley Water Group is in parallel and independently working to bring an expanded proposal to the board at some future date. And that work's continuing. So that involves a group of people that were formerly involved with this program before it was suspended in 2018. And we're continuing to get feedback from other people that were involved and from the community, and to and try and strengthen the vision of the program that we're putting forward. So that will also be something that is worth supporting at a higher budget level and in the years to come. So that's just a parallel activity to be aware of. We've gotten some feedback that a key component of the success of the prior program was actually the role of the high school, particularly Jane Orbach was a very influential science teacher. And so we're looking to form closer ties to the high school and to the schools in general as we develop a revised plan. But we support the program in general, and we'd be happy to see it resume in any form.
Thank you. And then remotely, Alina, would you have any comments or thoughts?
No, I'm ready to get this to the board, so thank you so much for the work that the staff has put into this, and let's get this rolling for the students.
Okay, thank you. And Shelley, anything you'd like to add?
I concur. Let's rock and roll this.
Okay. And then I just had, because this is my first meeting, so I apologize not having any of the backstory, and I appreciate it, Mark, giving me a little bit of it. I had noticed that obviously in 2017, we had allocated 17,500 and had given away, I forget exactly the number, but 7 or 8, maybe more grants to different proposals. Is there a reason or a background why we're sort of restarting this at 2,500 versus a higher number?
Want me to answer? Okay. Well, the previous history was we had some surplus property or equipment or something that was sold, and so the district had a little bit of money left from that they had chose to put into this program. At the time when we first started trying to bring this back to life, we didn't even know we had money budgeted. This was something that we were going to have to take to the board and ask for money. But Chris and the environmental department had already budgeted the 5,000, which was a $2,500 per fiscal year. And so we figured that was a good place to kind of jump in and take it kind of like they were saying, a pilot program, and kind of see how this all plays out. And if we can do this again and continue to do this in the future.
Okay, well, thank you. And then I guess in reading the current versions, it looks like within a grant award, a recipient would be able to get the money within 21 days, so 3 weeks. And then after they've gotten the award, as I read it, the outcomes report is due 30 days after the grant award. And that seemed really tight, or maybe even impossible, depending upon when, when actually they're doing the work associated with the grant. Did I misunderstand that, or is that?
It might, we probably need to tweak the language a little bit to probably say 30 days after receiving the award, maybe.
Yeah,
Something like
I
that.
think we're looking at the 30 days after completion of whatever their
Their project.
project
The
is.
scope of work, yeah.
And maybe that's what it does say, and I just didn't read it quite right. I
It
think
says
it said
within
the-
30 days of receiving the grant, so we probably need to change that wording.
Okay, so maybe
That's on
just,
page 11.
yeah, make a note of that. It just seemed a little tight and maybe not even possible.
Yeah,
Okay,
good catch.
all right. Okay, yeah, I mean, from what I've read, I think these programs are dynamite, and I've got a niece and a nephew who have gone through science camp, which was watershed oriented over in Redwood Camp. And it was just amazing. I mean, what they were learning, walking through creeks and looking and stuff was really, really cool. So I completely agree that these kinds of programs are very important. So I guess I open it now to any other comments from the public. Is that right? Okay. All right.
I'm Bruce Holloway from Boulder Creek. I observed the previous program. It wasn't a little bit of money. It was more than $10 million from the Waterman Gap land sale. And it wasn't that money that was put toward education grants. It was the interest off of the more than $10 million. So back in 2004, it was bringing in hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the district's total revenue was about $3.5 million. I mean, almost never have I seen a local government that had triple their annual revenue in in the bank, basically in investments. So that was kind of an unusual situation, and there was hundreds of thousands of dollars being spun off. During the life of the program, I observed that I would say the staff time, the cost of the staff time was at least equal to the money being given away. Which, this district right now is looking at borrowing $20 million. So I don't even think this sends a good message to the public that the district got money to give away. And I think it would be a terrific thing for private charity to do this. I'll pay $100 a year for it if somebody wants to organize watershed grants, as a private charity that people can donate to. So I think that would be way better than doing this. If the district wants to do something for schools, here's what I think you should do. SLB School District uses about 9,000 units of water a year, and the district is charging them an industrial rate, which is $2 more than the commercial rate. I have no idea why this happened. I argued against it when the rate program was developed. I just don't think I think schools should get the best rate that the district has. And it's $2 more than commercial. So if the district just put the schools back on a commercial rate, that would save them $18,000 a year. Pretty much with the stroke of a pen. You can do something that would benefit the school district. And then that would leave the decision up to the school board, how they spent the money. If they spent the money, they might spend it on watershed education grants, or they might find something else to do with $18,000. I just think that would be a much better solution to this. And as far as why the rate study charges them an industrial rate, I think it's an insult to education to refer them as industrial and charge them more money than every commercial business up and down Highway 9. And I don't think there's any justification for it. I could go on and tell you about the last 2 Court of Appeal cases in San Diego in the last 12 months that basically reiterated that there's no basis for charging an industrial rate. So that might be worth looking at. I really think that's a better solution.
Thank you. Any other comments? Any other public folks? Scott? No.
No.
Okay. Any other comments from the board? No. I did have a quick question. Why was the program suspended in 2018? I just don't know the history.
I was told, I think that they just didn't have any more money for that purpose,
Okay.
but I don't know.
Mark.
No, I have an alternate account of that I know some people will challenge, but it's a matter of record that a new board majority was installed after the 2018 election, and one of their campaign positions and platforms was, close scrutiny of spending. And for them, this was a clear case of district money going to a purpose that they did not believe was appropriate. There was a huge public outcry against their change because this was a popular program with the public. And there were 3 people that had been elected, and so they had a board majority, so that was moot. That's a matter of fact. That is what happened.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Okay.
I did have my hand raised. I just wanted to support Mark and what he said, and that was accurate as far as how it dissolved. And as far as moving forward with this program and staff time, we're looking at handling it within the admin committee. So it shouldn't be a huge weight on staff if we're dealing with this within committee. This is something that's very typical of what are other water districts. It's not out of the norm to be supporting this. It is out of the norm to have such a low dollar amount. But this is pretty typical to be giving back to education sectors for water districts. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, if there's no further comment, would a board member like to make a motion? Okay, I will, I guess, make a motion. Hold on. Okay, I would like to move that the admin committee forward the proposals as given with a few edits that I believe we've made, and forward that on to the board for its consideration.
Point of order. I don't think there's a motion available the way the agenda is written.
Oh, what is available, if anything?
Yeah,
Yeah, you guys had already said on the last meeting to take this to the board, but since we
Oh.
had made some final
Oh, okay.
edits,
So
we
just
decided to bring it
comments?
back.
Okay. All right, then I guess there's no formal motion. It's just move the comments up to the board.
Okay.
All right, very good. All right, then we'll move on to the second point of business, which I believe is the FEMA grant tracking. Okay, let's see, that is. And Ben or Jason, were you either of you going
It's our
to?
grant master.
Okay, all right.
So lucky.
Thank you, Jen.
All right, so this memo is just serving as an informational update on the FEMA grants and their associated status as of August of 2025. I gave a little bit of backstory here. In 2023, the district contracted with Aptum to assist with tracking of FEMA grant projects. There was some discussion about the process and procedure. Ultimately, it was decided that the district staff could probably do a better job of obtaining reimbursement in a more timely manner. So that's me. We took the initiative to take the process back and terminated the contract with Aptum by written notice. District staff has created a summary of the FEMA grants and their current status, which includes the total number of projects, where the open projects are in the review process, and expected future reimbursement. As a result of this decision in specifics of no longer using Aptum, the district has become more self-reliant and has saved approximately $209,000 in the next 2 fiscal years by having staff take over the process of these grants through both FEMA and Cal OES. So the second page is my outline, and I'm sure you guys have had a chance to review it, so I'm just here to answer any questions you might have.
Okay. Mark, do you mind being put on the hot seat first and
Sure.
any comments?
So I always appreciate informational updates. I do have a question about this one, which is how exactly do you envision the admin committee making use of this information?
This was something that Alina was kind of looking for. I think it helps all of us. I know some of you are involved in the budget and finance committee and looking at, projects and different things like that. So in the context of what's coming down the pike, what projects we're going to be looking at doing and different things like that, it just gives a higher level of context, I believe, a little bit more information.
I think it's
Okay.
important for all the committees to understand what's going on with these grants. So this is just information for you to digest.
That's great. In that spirit, my understanding was that there was a plan to add a position, a management analyst, that I thought was also going to be closely associated with this activity. Is that incorrect?
100% accurate.
So in the spirit of informational update, can I ask about the status of that plan?
We conducted our interview. The offer was made for the position and, well, not formally. We're waiting for HR to get back before we can formally offer the position, but plan currently is to have the role filled on October 1st.
Wow, great.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That I feel better informed.
Cheryl?
I just appreciate the information and would love to know in the future if there's anything that the admin committee can do to facilitate anything in this. But the information is very important, I think, for us to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then remotely, Shelley, would you like to comment?
Information is knowledge. And I feel that the more information we have on what can come to us and where it might head is a benefit.
Thank you. And Alina?
Yeah, just thank you so much for working on this. I know it's been a struggle trying to get some of these FEMA dollars back, and I just really appreciate all this work, and it's going to go a long way to, you know, being able to balance our budgets, being able to, you know, be reimbursed. So thank you for your hard work on this, Jen, and staff in general.
No problem.
Okay. Thank you. And then if I could maybe just ask a few questions to get some background. One of the things you say, Jen, is that this will save 209,000 over the next 2 years. Is that really looking forward as opposed to looking backwards?
Just really looking forward, yes. We had budgeted to pay Aptum for the next 2 fiscal years.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Very good. And then it was showing that 29 projects had been closed. What, I don't, did we actually have those 29 or I don't?
Yeah, we had a total of 38 projects currently in the grants portal as of today. 29 of those were obligated. What I had found out was the state was actually withholding some of our admin costs that we should have received reimbursements for. And that's because they had not been closed out in the grant portal. And so Rachel and I closed out 29 projects so that we can hopefully get those monies released that we've been waiting for.
And that was like the 130,000.
That was like 134,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Super. All right. I appreciate the explanation.
Yeah.
And then it specifically referenced, I guess, a FEMA app for 996,000 for the Quail Hollow Trench washout. What, I know we've got a number of them, FEMA applications, and so is this is like in the process, but it hasn't been obligated? Is that what that is, or what?
Yeah, it actually was obligated and then they decided to withdraw. And that was kind of the problem that we had with FEMA, is it took them almost a little over 2 years to kind of just have us waiting around thinking we were going to get this money, and then decided to tell us that basically we should have filed it with the Federal Highway Administration, and it should have never been filed with FEMA. So what I've done is I tried to file an application process with the Federal Highway Administration, which they quickly denied because we're not the county. So then I filed a FEMA appeal because I still feel like FEMA has got some issues on this one that they should be looking in a little bit closer at. Then I also contacted the county, and I've got the county now helping me to reestablish a relationship with the Federal Highway Administration, and they're going to file an appeal on our behalf.
Wow.
So I've got all these different things out there. I just don't want to lose this almost $1 million project. So
No kidding.
yeah.
Can I ask 2 follow-up questions? That was interesting. I'm glad you explained that. Is there a little background here in terms of Aptum? I mean, the original understanding with them was that they had specialized expertise that our staff did not, and that they were playing an essential role. And here you're describing activities that you might nominally have expected Aptum to have been more proactive about. What's your take on all that?
I've been here for not even 1.5 years yet. I was really interested in this FEMA grant reimbursement from the start because there was a lot of money just sitting here. After kind of working with Aptum and talking to them and seeing how the communications were going back and forth, and then finding out that we were doing sometimes triple, quadruple, 5 times the amount of work because we've already sent them the information and it wasn't being uploaded. And then we're finding out we got to do it again and again and again. It was just a waste of staff time. And so ultimately I asked RGS, which is who Heather works for, if they had a consultant there that would be able to help me and mentor me to try to figure out how to work in this system, because this is new to me too. I've never done it before. And she's been awesome. And, you know, my whole thing with this process is that I feel like the district has staff that's here that's capable. I think we should be a little bit more self-reliant. These are our projects. I think we should take control of them and make sure that they're moving. You know, it would have been nice if it worked out with Aptum for the amount of money that we spent, but it didn't. And so here we are, and we're taking the reins back.
So I mean, following up on Mark's point though, I guess I would have expected a consultant like Aptum to have been all over this
Oh, yeah.
and know, oh, this has to go to the federal highway
I'm,
program, and this is FEMA, and this is something else.
yeah, I'm not sure what's happening on the Aptum side of the coin, but I mean, I can speak to just the fact that the district signed a contract with Aptum for over, I think it was $365,000. They received obligated amounts from FEMA of just over $100,000. And since we stopped the contract with them, you've seen what staff has done as far as obligating monies from the federal emergency department. And in speaking with other staff, namely our operations manager, who just volunteered the information. We weren't even talking about Aptum, but telling me that they would reach out to him almost on a monthly basis with a new person asking the same questions that the last person did a month ago.
Yeah.
And that went on for months. So I don't know if they had the turnover or what was going on over there, but it wasn't efficient. They weren't getting the job done.
Very helpful to understand that. Just a quick follow-up. One thing that's hard for me from where I sit to have a clear picture on is what your future expectations are of FEMA itself, and you know how you expect their honoring of their commitments to hold up.
I feel like the honoring of their commitments is not gonna be the issue. I think maybe having opportunities for grants, like we were seeing, you know, the last 10 years. I don't see the opportunities that we were seeing before. But we do have a local hazard mitigation plan that Chris and his department worked really heavily on. And that's supposed to open up some more avenues for us. So I feel, you know, pretty positive about the future. I think we've got some opportunities that
Yeah.
we didn't have before.
Prop 1, Prop 4, and for consolidations, Prop 68, all those monies are sitting out there. It's just a matter of writing the verbiage that they want to see.
Thanks.
And I guess just a few other follow-up questions. So of the 38 projects that I guess we started with, 29 are closed, is that right? So
Yeah.
that's right. And then you had the list of
So we have
9.
the 9.
The 9, that's right. So if I were to add up the 9 projects, we have the 5.2 million. We have the 9.9 million. And then the Hollow 1 million. So are we talking, wow, 16, 17 million that's still kind of out there that we're, and I apologize. I guess I may remember from a couple months ago that there was a sort of a graph showing, you know, which FEMA projects and at what stage these were at, but maybe you can just give a quick summary if you remember.
Yeah, that was provided by Aptum. I think they took that from the FEMA website.
Okay.
But the 9 that are left over are our bigger projects, obviously by the total dollar amount. So what had happened was when the CZU fires happened and the storms happened, I think this is in particular the CZU fires, what they did was they took one event, one project, and they lumped a bunch of different individual projects into that one. And so, yeah, it's a $10 million project, but it's also, you know, 5, 6, 7 different areas that need to be worked on. So we've learned from that. We're not going to probably do that anymore in the future because it causes a lot of problems. And what happens is even if you finished, say you finished 2/3 of that project and it becomes obligated, you still don't get the money until all of it's finished. And I don't think anybody was really aware of that when this first went down. And we're starting to see that now. And so, yeah, we've learned from that and we're not going to do that anymore. But some of these projects, you know, is something that I have to sit down and talk with operations and engineering and figure out, you know, let's go through our projects and see what we can get done, what we maybe can't get done. Maybe we need to withdraw part of this project so that we can get the money we've already spent. You know, those are those conversations that we're having behind the scenes.
Okay, yeah, I was wondering why there was some mention of submitting, I think, a reduced effort or something.
A reduced scope of work.
Yeah,
Yes,
reduced scope of
for
work.
the Lion Slide. Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah, and we're waiting right now for them to approve that so we can move forward with the rest of the process.
To reiterate what Jen was saying, it's a matter of not just does this work need to be done, but can we even feasibly do the work? And so it's sitting down as staff and saying, okay, what can we accomplish in a reasonable amount of time that FEMA will reimburse us for, and changing the scope of work so that we at least get some reimbursement from this, you know, maybe it won't be the full 17, maybe it's 12. I mean, I don't know, I'm just throwing out numbers, but
Right.
Yeah.
but you know, at least we're seeing something coming in.
okay. And I know this, you gave us a little bit of a spoiler alert the other day, but do you feel like staff has a pretty good handle on what we think the FEMA reimbursements might be, as well as the possible need for us to go out and raise more money in a bond, and how we sync up all of these monies with the engineering projects that need to be done?
Yeah, I think that when we get a better understanding of what we can accomplish reasonably and take that back to FEMA and say, this is the reduced scope work, this is what the actual costs were, and we can kind of get an idea of what FEMA might reimburse us for, we'll have a decent understanding of what that bond should look like.
Okay. Yeah, and so I guess just to make it really clear, FEMA's not going to reimburse us a dime until literally all of the work is done.
Correct.
That's correct. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
It is a reimbursement, not a
Mhm.
here, there's money, go get it done.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, and then I guess so when the decision was made for this 9.9 million application to FEMA with multiple projects being fed into it, did we get advice from Apton on that, or was that some other?
That was before Aptum.
That was before Apton.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
was
'cause
just
we
what we
contracted
thought.
with Aptum in 2023. These were all in 2020. Yeah.
Okay, all right,
Mhm.
thank you. Okay, any other comments from board? All right, does the public have like make any comments? No, anybody online, Scott?
Yes, sir.
No. Okay, this was informational only, is that right? So.
Yep.
Thank you very much for the additional information and the background as well for my help.
No problem.
Okay. Well, I think that might be it. I don't think there's any new business, right?
Mark,
Community com-
There's
Oh.
board comment.
I'm sorry?
committee comments. That's the next agenda item.
Oh, oh, okay. Hold on, let me get there. Okay. Right. Okay. I see, so no members of the public information material, community committee comments.
number 6, yeah.
Okay, so any general comments?
I just wanted to take advantage of that line item to ask a question. It's a question about CTV. I mean, we rely upon CTV to facilitate the public access to our meetings. And they don't seem to be updating their site. So I'm just curious if we have any insight into what's going on there.
We no longer rely on CTV. We have taken that and over in our staff is Scott is the main focus of all the public outreach now as far as meetings go. So all that's being done in-house. It saves the district about $12,000 a year.
So that sounds great. Did I miss an announcement? I mean, I was just habitually going to CTV to try and follow the meetings, and
If you go to the main website, you go to agendas and minutes, the link to our YouTube channel is there, and that's where all of those videos are going now. And there's also still a link to the previous CTV, so you can see anything that was before.
Historical.
glad to hear it.
12,000 here, 12,000 there. Adds up eventually.
Good.
Okay, that's great. Any other comments from committee members? Okay.
Oh.
And
Oh,
Oh,
Elena has
Elena.
her hand up.
Well, this is also reserved, for anything that we're bringing forward, that the committee wants to see brought forward to the admin committee. So you guys are thinking of something like now's the time. I know we're not there yet, but just keep in the back of their mind the strategic plan and just keep saying that until someone picks it up. But yeah.
Thank you, Elena.
Yeah, but thank you guys. I'm sorry I couldn't join you today. You probably will see me more online. So apologize for that, but I guess I'll tell everyone that I got diagnosed with aggressive breast cancer and I'm undergoing chemotherapy. So I could not get my nausea medication under control and I was trying to make it today, but Tuesdays are usually a pretty good day for me because I get chemo Wednesdays. So maybe I'll see you guys next month. But thank you guys for hanging in there and being a part of this committee, and I really appreciate you.
thank you, Lena.
Wow.
Okay. No other comments. I guess we can adjourn, right?
Yes.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.